Hi everyone, this is your favorite anthropomorphic chipmunk, Alvin Seville. And when I'm not busy busting nuts with my brothers, you can always find me chilling with my best gal pal Brittany, listening to a very special podcast.
Everybody, welcome back to another installment of a very special podcast. This is our 175th episode, Spooktacular. This is a podcast which talk about all your favorite TV series from yesteryear and discuss them over a glass of wine and other assorted beverages. And I'm your special ghost, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here by my other special ghost, Kat Halstead, the professional. How are you?
I totally forgot this was our 175th episode.
Yeah, you forgot? You weren't thinking?
And then you said it, and I just sat here going, how have I done this like 175 times with you? Because there's a few lost episodes.
I dropped that number, 175, and your eyebrows popped up. They just rose a little bit. You had the shocked look on your face.
24 more times and we'll hit 200. How is this possible? How are we still doing this? How many years later? I don't even know.
5. We just had our 5 years.
5.
We're at the...
I don't know anymore. My brain is fried. I need a vacation.
You don't remember being at the Pacey J. Witter Auditorium doing the 5th year anniversary special?
Listen, things have been a little crazy lately. I don't know which way is up anymore.
You need to lay off the crack pipe, girl. Listen to our gal pal, Whitney Houston, R.I.P. Ouija board us.
Now, don't insinuate I'm a drug user.
I know. All right, we'll take that out of the universe.
We know the heaviest thing I take is Tylenol PM.
Yeah, Kat Halstead is freebasing Tylenol PM, if anything. That's it.
Oh my god.
Are you drinking it right now? Did you liquefy it and you put it in your little cup of whatever that is over there?
I'm finishing up my morning coffee in one of my fun little owl mugs.
I'm a true professional over here, so I have my mug of coffee, my bottle of water, my bottle of seltzer water, and then my Bud Light Orange for when we really get going. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
Okay, I also have a tumbler full of Coca-Cola.
That was our drink segment.
But some of us still have to go to work later today, so we can't be getting drunk.
Let's stop recording. We'll come back in 12 hours after you finish working, and we'll let you have your Blondie Bear, whatever it was called. True Blonde?
I don't have any beer in the house.
Right. Well, someone out there.
Beer drop.
If you're in the Colorado Springs area, just drive out to Kat's house right now and give her some True Blonde ale. Maybe it'll be your new friend from Twitter will bring it to you in a hot air balloon. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I told you, I'm out of it. I'm wait.
Shout out to our 17th fan, Sarayam. We salute you. I think that's your name.
I honestly don't know. I'll be completely honest.
That's kind of tying into what we're doing today, because if you listened to the end of last week's episode, we talked about a certain movie which involved a hot air balloon. And we couldn't quite remember the title of the movie, so we got a hot DM telling us the name of the movie. So do you want to say the name of the movie that we're not doing, but we're doing a movie that's related to it?
Yeah, the movie we are not doing is The Chipmunk Adventure.
That has nothing to do with Halloween. Nothing to do with Halloween or Here Comes the Booze.
Not in our current wheelhouse.
But what are we doing?
Tonight, this morning, whatever time of day it is when you decide to let us into your lives, we are doing Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman.
So should we speed up our voices for the rest of the episode to be kind of sound like the Chipmunks? Are you up for that?
I think that might be a bit annoying.
Should we do a minute of us talking really fast?
I mean, you could do it in post, yeah. And then you'll see how annoying it sounds, I'm sure.
It'll probably be my survey voice. It'll be hi, my name is Catherine. I'm calling from Chipmunk Research. I'd like to do a survey today. Yes, I'm calling you today to help you gather some nuts for winter. Because, winter is coming. Bundle up and stay warm, all my furry friends out there.
All right, we'll end our sped up chipmunk voice segment right there.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Intern Bruce, pause button on that sound effect, the chipmunk speed up sound effect.
Bruce is back?
Yeah, he's school's back in session. He's back for the year. This might be our last year with Bruce because he's been in college for a while.
I mean, we haven't talked about Bruce in a while, so I thought Bruce left us.
No, he's been here. He's behind the scenes working diligently. He's been answering all our emails, doing our hot tweets, gathering information for us, compiling information from our survey that nobody does, and other miscellaneous tasks. He goes to the drive-thru at Dutch Brothers Coffee and gets your muffin, your Dutch Brothers muffin.
I make my own muffins.
Well, you know what?
Does that need to be another AVSP in the kitchen?
Yeah, let's AVSP in the kitchen. Kat Hulson's gonna make her regional famous
pumpkin muffins.
All right. Mm-hmm. So tonight we're doing the Chipmunks meet. It's called Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman. Is that the correct title?
Yes, Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman.
This was a year 2000 American animated horror musical comedy themed direct-to-video film produced by the Universal Cartoon Studios. Perhaps you know them. They made other hot cartoon movies like Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein. They also made American Tail, The Land Before Time, Balto, some Woody Woodpecker shit, and the 2006 Curious George movie. So, Ooga.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Problem Child television series. So good for them. Good for them.
Okay.
Shout out to our friends at Universal Cartoon Studios. Give us a call. Tweet us at Very Podcast. Tell us what it was like being a animated. Actually, I think they were. They're no longer Universal Animation Studios. I think they're owned by DreamWorks Animation now. Who cares? I don't really care.
If it's not Disney, I don't know who owns it.
We need like a flow chart of what they are.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into the movie, before we get into Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman, do you want to talk about some other hot direct-to-video films in the year 2000?
Yeah, what else was hot to direct-to-video in 2000?
All right, this is a wild year for direct-to-video films. Actually, we're in DVD era, so we're direct-to-DVD. Am I right? Is it safe to say that?
We are in that in 2000, it's still like, most people still had a VHS player. People were just starting to get DVDs. Because I remember in college, in 2001, I was like the only one in my hall who had a DVD player.
Okay, so we're in that like crossover period. It's like everyone has Nintendo, but like the three rich people have Super Nintendo in your school.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say direct to video then. So you ready? You ready for the hot direct to video films of the year 2000?
Yes, let's hear it.
All right, let's kick things off with a little movie called. It's actually the original is celebrating its 30th anniversary, but the sequel, Return to the Sea: The Little Mermaid 2. What?
Okay.
Yeah. This is a sequel. It basically brings Ariel back to the sea.
Yes, her daughter wants to be a mermaid.
Yeah, it's like reverse Little Mermaid. I love it. It's great.
And I think we actually talked about this in a past episode.
I believe we did. I think most of the crew came back. Jodie Benson came back as Ariel. Samuel E. Wright came back as Sebastian. Buddy Hackett, oh yeah, as Scuffle. And Edie McClurg as Carlotta. Carlotta is the housekeeper, it says.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't really know much about her. I'm gonna throw this up there. I've never seen it.
I saw it like once, just to like see it.
All right. Well, maybe when it hits Disney Plus, maybe we'll peep it out. Maybe we'll have like a Little Mermaid weekend. We'll do the Little Mermaid 2, Return to the Sea, and then like the animated series. Who knows?
Okay, can we be real? When Disney Plus drops, we know my ass is watching Lizzie McGuire and Girl Meets World like nonstop.
Yeah, Cat's ass. So get ready for Cat's ass to be watching fucking whatever she just said. Lizzie McGuire.
Lizzie McGuire, Girl Meets World. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hot weekend of Lizzie McGuire and Girl Meets World because Girl Meets World has been off.
Like, listen,
for a while.
They released there's a picture from the first cast script reading for the new Lizzie McGuire revival, and I like just got so excited when I saw that picture last night. because it was like Hilary Duff with Jake Thompson and the guys that played her parents. I was like, oh my god, yes, it's real, it's happening.
Yes, lady bonus for days. For days. All right. You ready for the next direct-to-video film of the year 2000?
Yeah, what was the next one?
I'm excited about this one. I'm super excited about this one. I've never seen it either, but Cruel Intentions 2.
I have totally seen this.
All right, so this was originally planned as a television series on Fox called Manchester Prep. It was going to be a reimagined prequel series to the film Cruel Intentions. It starred Amy Adams, Robin Dunn, Sarah Thompson, and somebody named Mimi Rogers. I guess, is it any good?
No.
No.
No, okay, so, if you don't know what it is, you're flipping through, your cable channels or whatever, and you come across this, you're kind of like, okay, and you're confused because it doesn't make sense because, Cruel Intentions in your head, and then you're like, wait a minute. Halfway through, you start to realize what the characters are named, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Where's Sarah Michelle Gellar? Where's Ryan Phillippe?
Where are you, Summer Blair? Where are you, Christine Baranski? Get your asses over here.
Exactly.
Save us. All right, so this was supposed to be a show that took place before Cruel Intentions. Mm-hmm. Were they ever gonna just redo Cruel Intentions as a TV series, when they eventually get to the same age as the characters on the original movie?
I don't know what they were gonna do. They probably hadn't thought it through.
Yeah, I don't know. They can't be high school freshmen forever.
Exactly.
What do they think this is? Fucking The Simpsons? They don't age. You ready? You ready for the next hot direct-to-video film of the year 2000?
Yeah.
All right. I've actually seen this. I don't remember anything about it, but it stars our friend of the show, Cam Heskin, Zachary Ty Bryan, Randy Spellin, fellow life coach, and Morgan Fairchild, and Debbie Mazza. Yeah, a little film called Held for Ransom. It's based on a Lois Duncan novel. Do you know this?
No, I don't.
Yeah, all right. So it's just kind of about 5 spoiled high school kids, and they get kidnapped, and they are held for ransom in a remote swamp area in Florida. It's the Everglades or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not that great from what I remember, but it has a fun cast. The cast is fun.
I mean, I totally understand why you watched it.
Starred our friend Cam Heskin, former star of Sunset Beach, and
Randy Spelling, also a former star of Sunset Beach.
Yes, and star of Princes of Malibu. Was that the show Randy Spelling did?
I think so. I don't know anymore.
And then a stint in rehab, and then he became a life coach, and now he's directing youth all across the country. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. Direct me, please. Guide me somewhere. You ready for the next direct-to-video film of the year 2000?
Sure.
All right, it's another sequel. This is year of the sequels. An extremely goofy movie.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I've seen this.
Yeah, this is the sequel to the 1995 film A Goofy Movie, which was based on the TV series Goof Troop. And this is actually the last of the Goof Troop cinematic universe. This is the end of it. End of the line right here. Mm-hmm. Max goes to college. Goofy has empty nest syndrome. He's, starts being sloppy at work because he's sad.
Yeah.
And, blows up his factory that he works, his toy factory or something. I can't remember where he works.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah. I'm sure Goofy falls off a cliff and goes, woo at one point in time, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure. All right. You ready for the last of the bunch?
Okay.
All right. And also a sequel, believe it or not, is a horror movie based on a very popular horror franchise. The original starred our gal pal Jennifer Aniston, but this one, she is nowhere to be found. Leprechaun in the Hood. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Ice-T is in this. Warwick Davis returns as the Leprechaun. Coolio makes a cameo as himself. And some other names I don't know.
Wow.
This movie also got a sequel called Leprechaun Back to the Hood, and it's the number 2. So I guess it did all right. It fared decent in the direct-to-video world, maybe.
All I can think about are those, remember back in the day, those news stories about the leprechauns in, Atlanta or something?
The Mobile, Alabama or something.
Yeah.
There's, a drawing of the leprechaun, and it's just this, drawing of a really shoddy leprechaun on a napkin.
Yeah, Mobile, Alabama. There's a leprechaun running around.
All right. I'm not gonna lie. That was, the first real YouTube phenomenon, and I loved it. I think every year on like St. Patrick's Day, I would watch a video with my friends, and we'd just giggle like little schoolboys, which we probably were at the time.
Yeah, because I mean, it happened in 2006.
Yeah, because that about coincides, because I think like, is 2007, 2006-ish, like the time when YouTube was launched?
I think so, yeah, around there. Like, because I remember this is back when they had, I remember VH1 had some show where they talked about viral videos that were getting spread around the internet. And this was one of them, the leprechaun one.
Is it Best Week Ever, or is it something else that you're thinking of?
No, it was something else. It wasn't Best Week Ever. It was something else.
Okay, yes, because this definitely coincides with the era when YouTube was blossomed. So now, like, videos like this are being freely...
Because I'm pretty sure it got one of those, like, remixes, like the Kimmy Schmidt opening credit kind of thing.
Yeah, like the bronchitis lady and everything like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's definitely that era when YouTube came out, so now people are able to distribute these videos easily than before. Like, they had that embeddable link in it, so you could just, like, you know, embed it onto your MySpace page or something so your friends could watch it.
Yeah.
Shout out to YouTube, who is one of our hosts, in quotation marks.
I mean, our episodes get cross-posted there.
They do. And they also...
There's like 35 people subscribed to us over on YouTube.
Yeah. And they also deleted us at one point in time with, like, no announcement.
Yes, they did.
So fuck you, too. Simultaneous fuck you. All right. That's the year 2000 in year two videos, direct-to-videos.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 out of 5 extremely goofy thumbs, how many extremely goofy thumbs would you give it?
A 2?
Really? You weren't,
I don't feel like there's a lot that I would be, like, watching. You know what I mean?
I'm going to give it a hot 3. It's going to get a hot 3 from me. I'd probably watch the Goofy movie. I'd probably check out Cruel Intentions. Hell, I've seen Held for Ransom. Yeah, I'm going to give it a hot 3.
Okay.
You have like a really difficult scale over there. Like, I always like, oh wow, Kat's got to like love this, and she's like, give it a 2.
Apparently, I have heard, okay, the last few weeks at work, I have been told multiple times that I am very picky. I am hard to impress. I have high standard. Like, my standards are too high for people. And I'm like, if I train you to do this, you should be able to do this.
All right, so I have a question. I have a hot question for you.
Yes.
What would you give a 5 to? Just name something out there in the world that you would actually give a 5 to. And I'm expecting something of epic caliber, so I want, like, wind to come out of the computer screen and blow me away.
Gone with the Wind.
Oh, okay, all right, I'll give you that to you. And hold on, I'm trying to hang on to this, like, flagpole right here to keep me reeled in. What was the movie? What was the movie, like, where they open up books and things come, like, flying out of it, and someone opens up a gun with the wind and wind comes out of it?
Oh my god, oh... I don't know. I feel like it's a Mel Brooks picture. I could be wrong.
If anyone knows the answer out there, tweet us at Varied Podcast and tell us what movie when someone opens up gun with the wind and a book comes flying out. I wanted to say Gumby, but I feel like that's not the case.
I feel like that's not it.
Yeah, Gumby goes into books. He doesn't open books.
Yes.
All right, the Chipmunks. You love them. You love their music. You used to party with them when you were like 8 years old. Mm-hmm. Maybe you went to see the Chipmunk Adventure at the Cameo movie theater in Weymouth, Massachusetts with your older cousin when it came out. Mm-hmm. And ate stale popcorn that's been sitting in the little popcorn thing for like 3 days. Maybe you did that. Maybe you watched them on Saturday morning. Maybe you watched the reruns before school when you woke up. Well, actually, you probably watched the last few minutes because it was on at 6, and you woke up at 6:20 a.m., so you only saw like the last few minutes. Maybe you're an adult and you go see the CGI animated version of the films. Maybe you did that. Who knows? All right. So tell me about your history with the Chipmunks. What was life like for you growing up?
I remember I would watch them on Saturday mornings, and you always want to dance to the theme song. Doot, 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 doot.
Wow, that was so convincing. That was so convincing of the theme song right there.
Hey, I don't want to get copyright infringement, okay?
You really took me back to my childhood watching this occasionally.
I watched it every Saturday morning. I watched the Christmas special every year that it aired. Because it's like one of the ultimate Christmas specials is the Alvin and Chipmunks Christmas special.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
What world did you grow up in that you didn't see Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas special? You didn't see Alvin with the gold harmonica?
No. Maybe I was too busy watching the H.R. Puffin Stuff Christmas special.
Why the hell would you be watching that in the 80s?
I don't know. It was always on in the 80s, the H.R. Puffin Stuff Christmas special, and I always watched it every year. I looked forward to it coming on.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, like, we talked about this before. We brought it up.
What time warp were you in Massachusetts?
I don't know. Because the Chipmunks, I was aware of the Chipmunks. I've seen them here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the movies to see it. I owned the album that had their version of Uptown Girl by Billy Joel. I remember that. I remember owning the record, and I actually thought like that was an original song. And then, when I got a little bit older, I heard Uptown Girl by Billy Joel. I was like, whoa, this guy's doing the Chipmunks song. Jesus Christ, Billy Joel, stay in your own lane.
Oh my god.
But
oh my god.
Outside of that, I didn't really know the Chipmunks.
Because your relationship with the Chipmunks is like non-existent, and that's just so weird to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like a weird thing. It just I knew they were there. They existed to me, but I really wasn't in their stratosphere.
I mean, of course not. You were off watching H.R. Puffin Stuff. You were like the only kid in the 80s watching H.R. Puffin Stuff.
I don't know. I feel like I could find a couple of other kids that watched H.R. Puffin Stuff. If you know what? If you're a child of the 80s, if you're a hot child of the 80s, and you watched H.R. Puffin Stuff, tweet us at Fairy Podcast, and I don't know, we'll share laughter with each other about Witchy Poo and the little magic flute and the big H.R. Puffin Stuff thing and that like weird little boy who gets lost. Like I don't know, he's just like playing he's just like playing in the woods by himself one day, and he gets on a boat, and then like a witch flies over. And he gets like whisked away to this magical world, and I don't know, lives it like it's just there for the rest of his life. Such a weird show.
Wow.
All right, you have to just go on YouTube one day, and just watch the like the theme song to HR Puffin Stuff, because it loosely explains the plot of the show. And if you watch this today as an adult, you're like, what the fuck? You're like, are we not sure this kid just like was lost in the woods and he ate a mushroom and it just turned out to be like a psychedelic mushroom and he just tripped his balls off for like a couple of days?
Probably exactly what happened.
Yeah, he was hungry in the woods.
Okay, so let's talk Chipmunks. What do you know about the history of the Chipmunks?
All right, so the Chipmunks originally were the subject of a novelty song, The Witch Doctor, by a guy named Ross Bagdasarian. I'm probably saying that wrong.
You're close. Yeah. So, first he did the Witch Doctor song, and he didn't label it as by the Chipmunks. But then he, the company, Witch Doctor was such, a popular song, the record company wanted more, novelty songs like that. So he created the Chipmunks to, do more of these, sped up songs.
Yes. So I believe this guy, Ross, he went by the stage name Dave Seville, right?
Yeah, that was his stage name when he was doing this stuff with the Chipmunks, yeah.
And so in 1958, the very popular The Chipmunk song, Christmas Don't Be Late came out, and it was basically the world being introduced to the Chipmunks, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, and, it starts off, and Dave's asking everyone if they're ready to sing their song.
Yeah.
And everyone says okay, but Alvin doesn't answer, and he yells his name, and...
Alvin!
So, right off the bat, we knew that Alvin was a little bit of a dick, am I right?
I mean, he is your classic troublemaker little boy character. He's your Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, he's like your rodent Dennis the Menace.
Yes.
Are chipmunks rodents? I don't think so. Are they classified?
Possibly. They're on the edge. On the verge.
Yes. They're small enough that I would actually just call them a rodent. They're adorable, but very rodent-like.
Okay. Legit, one time when I was working in the t-shirt shop, I, came upstairs from printing some stock, and, it was, springtime, we had the front door open, and there was just a chipmunk chilling in the store, and then it saw me, and then it, ran out.
Yeah, that's what they usually do. They usually see you, and they run. They scurry away with their little feet.
Yeah.
They patter away. They just coming in looking for some nuts or some seeds or something, and they don't see any.
Yeah, they're like, ooh, is there food in here?
You got any seeds, bitch?
That's what they're saying. And then they don't see any seeds, and instead they just see you making fucking T-shirts with like, I don't know, you're printing a bunch of T-shirts for some bachelorette party on this coming weekend.
Yeah.
Making a white T-shirt that says like "Bride to Be" or something.
Something ridiculous like that, yes.
And then you're making a T-shirt for all their friends that say like "The Bride's Bitches" or something. I'm just thinking of some stupid thing that you see whenever you go out. I don't know, like the worst thing in the world. It's like a Saturday night, and you're going out to have like just a relaxing night out. And you're sitting at a table, and across from you are like 8 fucking giggling girls. And, I don't know, they get fucking dildos hanging off them, because, it's a bachelorette party, so you gotta bring dildos, am I right? I don't know why.
You gotta have, like, penis stuff, and it's like, really, like, guys.
I brought the penis-shaped cupcakes, what did you bring?
It's like, I got the penis-shaped swizzle sticks.
And I brought the penis-shaped macaroni and cheese.
Like, can we talk about the fact that, like, all that stuff exists? Like,
I have a hot idea. You and I should just open up a bachelorette party store and just sell penis-shaped things. We'd make a killing. We'd make a fucking killing. Am I right, girl? Just open up one in like Las Vegas or something. Like right next to the fucking Excalibur.
we just need a cart.
Yeah, not even like a stand. We just need a little stand.
Refill the cart every few hours.
Yeah, you know what? We'll get like a couple of stands. We'll just hire some help, and it'll just roll down the fucking boulevard. And people all these bachelorettes, they get off the plane, they're on their way to their hotel resort for the weekend, and they see the stand, and they see the penis, they see the tiara with like the penis dangling off it, and they get lady boners and scoop them up.
It's like, oh, we have to have this for our girls' weekend.
Yeah, it's no frills weekend. Then that night ends up with one of the girls starts bawling in the bathroom at the Spearmint Rhino, because, I don't know, she got in a fight with one of the strippers. And or you know what, she ran into somebody that looked like her ex-boyfriend, and it made her very emotional, and she got sad and cried. And then then one of their friends ODs on something, and they have to go to the hospital. And, I don't know. Hope she makes it.
Oh my god.
That sounds like a hangover, like a lady hangover movie right there.
It
Make
does.
that happen. Paul Feig, make it happen. All right, the Chipmunks. Where are we? Sorry.
Okay, so like the Chipmunks are created in like 1958, and they have their Christmas song. They're really popular with the Christmas album. In 1961, they have a one-season primetime cartoon, The Alvin Show.
Yes, I remember that. I definitely have seen episodes of that.
Yeah, I've seen episodes of that too. Ross passed away in 1972, so nobody did anything with the Chipmunks until his son, Ross Jr., picked it back up in 1979.
Yeah, we kind of got a revival, right? We started getting music again.
Yes, so late one night on a Pittsburgh radio station, some DJ sped up a song and said it was the new song from the Chipmunks as a joke, because he didn't think anybody was listening. And apparently the switchboard lit up like crazy, because people wanted the new Chipmunks album. And so Ross Jr. took over, and they did a Chipmunks punk album. And then they ended up with they did the Christmas special, and then they started the Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, so this show was on from 1983 to 1990. It was on for a long time. There's 102 episodes, according to Wikipedia. It was there. It was on NBC. I believe it was an NBC show.
Yes, it was an NBC morning.
Their tentpole series for a while. I believe they even made an appearance in a cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue.
I believe they did.
Ooh, yeah.
Pretty much every cartoon of the day was in that thing.
Yeah. So this this Alvin and the Chipmunk series. This also introduced the Chipettes, which were the lady chipmunks, the bachelorette party of chipmunks.
Which consists of Brittany, Jeanette, and Eleanor, they are the pastel parallels to the boys.
And they're kind of they're each paired up. Theodore has a thing for Eleanor. Brittany's the leader one, right, for the Chipettes, so she's kind of
Yeah, Brittany's got a thing with Alvin, and Jeanette has a thing with Simon.
Yes. So It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. And they made it over into the movies. The Chipettes made it into the Chipmunk Adventure. They had a great run. And then they still did music. They still released music pretty much through the 90s. And these in 1999, I believe, the Chipmunks met Frankenstein, which was the first of a series of Universal horror-themed films for the Chipmunks.
It's an interesting one.
And I guess it did okay.
I actually like Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman better.
From what I've read on the internet, the animation style was better in the Wolfman version than the Frankenstein one. And people seemed to like the Wolfman one a little bit more. I think maybe they rushed the Frankenstein one is what I'm guessing, maybe?
The Frankenstein one is a little cheesy.
Okay.
I've watched it with the nephews. I actually one of my favorite pictures of my nephews is the three of them sitting in front of the screen. It's just the back. You can just see the back of their heads, but they're all entranced in Alvin and the Chipmunks on the screen.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite pictures of the boys.
Oh. Maybe we'll put it on the website. I believe it's on your Instagram because I feel like I've seen this picture before.
It's totally on my Instagram. It's from years ago.
Right, so I have a hot take on these horror versions of the Chipmunks. So,
okay,
we were the prime age for the Chipmunks because we were born in the early 80s. The show started in 83. So I would say anyone born from 1978 to 1987, 88 are the prime age for the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
They're that prime age. They know them, they love them, but their popularity totally dipped in the 90s. And let's say you were born in 1988 or even 1989, you're 10 years old in 1999, and all of a sudden a Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein movie comes out, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this?
You're probably going to be like, it's totally the thing your mom would pick for you at Blockbuster. If you were a 10-year-old kid in 1999 or 2000, you know?
I kind of feel like we kind of had an animation renaissance in the early 90s, so we got a lot of new cool things. We got Tiny Toons, we got Animaniacs, we got Batman the Animated Series, we got Freakazoid. All kinds of crazy things that Disney Afternoon that just kind of took over. And the Chipmunks kind of went on the back burner for a bit. So it just seems really odd that they would release this movie in 1999. Just hey, let's just do a new Chipmunks movie.
Well, Ross and his wife, I believe Janice is her name. They are still the ones producing Alvin and the Chipmunks stuff today.
Okay. I mean, that is true.
In the, I believe, late 80s, mid 90s, somewhere in that period, Ross bought his siblings out of the Chipmunk legacy business. So it's him, his wife, and his kids now work on it.
Okay, so they have full control of the empire?
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of weird to me, though, that they didn't just go for a full Chipmunks reboot just to kind of reintroduce the, new kids to this. Instead, they just make this weird horror movie.
Well, I think they were just going off of what they had. Rebooting things wasn't really a thing in 1999, 2000.
Well, I get what you're saying, but, Scooby-Doo kind of redoes itself every couple of years. You get, a new version of Scooby-Doo. It's just weird that these direct-to-video Chipmunks movies just built off the previous series, which, I don't know what its syndication shelf life was in the 90s. I have no memory of it being on, Cartoon Network or anything. So that's why I just think it's weird that they just come out of the gate with horror-themed movies instead of just, let's just do, a random, Chipmunks go to the jungle or something. I don't know.
I mean, okay, that kind of happened in the Chipmunks Adventure, though.
That is true. That's where I went. I don't know. It's just strange to me that they just came right out of the gate with 2 back-to-back horror-themed movies instead of just doing something that's non-seasonal related that, you could watch all year round.
I don't know. They're not specifically Halloween, though.
Yeah, but I think you're a parent in the video store. It's Halloween time. You're gonna, the kids want to watch something spooky. you're going to get this movie, but it's like Valentine's Day or Christmas, and the kids want to watch something Christmas related, you're just going to overlook this movie, most likely. Unless you're a weird kid like me that would watch like Family Circus Easter special all year round. So I guess it's possible.
See, that's the thing. There are kids like that. Like, if I had let Axton, he would have watched The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, every freaking day for 6 months.
Okay.
Like, he would have cared more about The Great Pumpkin on Christmas than he does Charlie Brown Christmas. Like, he will not sit through Charlie Brown Christmas, but he will watch the damn Great Pumpkin and recite the lines, and then, like, just randomly start saying these lines back to us, like, in conversations.
Ooh, I stand. They got the right idea about 7 years after this because they completely reboot the Chipmunks. We get the series of CGI live-action Chipmunks movies, the Squeakquel, the Chipwrecked, the Road Chip, I don't know, whatever else they do.
There's a fourth one.
There's a CGI animated series, too.
On Nickelodeon.
That's why I just think why did they just come out of the gate with something like that to kind of like reintroduce young kids to the Chipmunks?
These were the stories they wanted to tell. I just don't think they needed to reintroduce it.
Okay.
I don't think this reintroducing things idea really existed the way you only, like, even Scooby-Doo didn't, like, reintroduce itself. You know what I mean? It kind of just kept going, like, oh, Fred and Daphne aren't here anymore, or Fred and Velma aren't here anymore. It's Scooby, Shaggy, and Daphne now.
And sometimes Scrappy. And sometimes Scooby-Dum, the uncle.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just thinking of series like Goof Troop, which just kind of reintroduces us to Goofy, and then they just throw in these, like, tertiary characters.
Yeah, okay, but that's a completely different... You're thinking...
I'm making her mad.
You're...
We're gonna get in a fight over the Chipmunks. Oh, side story. I had a dream last night.
Oh, God.
Not even last night. Like, I took a nap before we recorded this morning. Around like 9 a.m. I took a nap. And I dreamed we recorded the episode and we got into like a huge ass fight. So I was like kind of afraid to come onto this.
Was that why you took so long to get on?
Maybe subconsciously I was like delaying doing this podcast episode because I was like, oh God, we're going to get in a fight today. I sense it. And here it is. We're getting in a fight because I don't understand why.
No, I just think you're overthinking it, is what I'm trying to say. I think you're overthinking the concept. Like, I think at this point, the Chipmunks were still sort of a thing in people's consciousness. You still got the specials every so often, so I don't think it was something like we have to reboot everything and reintroduce everything.
Okay, I don't know. I was just thinking it's, like, in my mind, I'm like, it's 9 years after the Saturday morning cartoon series ended, so all the people who were, like, originally into it have aged out of it, and now you're going to have all these new kids coming into it. And they might not be familiar with the series, so they're going to be like, oh, like, what is this? There's 2 movies, one about Frankenstein, one about Wolfman, so this is always going to be, like, a weird, scary movie kind of thing.
I'm wondering if there was enough, like, video cassette version, like, releases of the Chipmunks that it was probably something, like, people would get at, like, the Blockbuster or whatever. So it wasn't, like, as out of the consciousness as you see it as.
Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't this movie also included on like a DVD with like a weird like Archie meets vampires kind of thing too?
Maybe. I mean, that's not on my DVD that I have.
I thought I read that somewhere.
There might be. There's like multiple, like, because there's another Alvin and the Chipmunks Halloween DVD set of like actual like episodes from the series.
All right. So now finally, a year after Alvin and the Chipmunks meet Frankenstein, they're ready to meet the Wolfman. And I gotta say, I kind of went into this with, like, I wanted to just roll my eye when you brought it up. I was like, what the fuck? Are we really doing this? But I really got into it. I, like, really got into the storyline. Mm-hmm. I really got into, I don't know, like, I actually, like, was worried about some of the characters. It was just, like, a nicely written, nicely animated, just all around decent movie. And I think if they made it like 20 minutes longer, you probably could have thrown this in the movie theaters.
I mean, it's actually pretty long.
Yeah, it's like an hour and like 10 minutes or something. But if they made it like 20 more minutes, it could have been, it could have been in the theaters. And I probably would not have gone and seen it, but maybe I would have taken my little sister to go see it. Like, if she really wanted to.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's a nice, fun little movie.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
And
I watched it twice for the podcast, of course. You just watched it once.
no, I watched it twice because I fell asleep like halfway
You-
through the first time.
Oh.
And then I went to finish it off, but I couldn't remember what happened. So I was like, so I just like watched it again from the beginning.
Like, it's a nice little movie to put on. You can keep up with it while you're doing other stuff, like making Oreo balls for your friend's kid's birthday party or whatever, you know?
For a second, I just thought you said for your kid's birthday party. I was like, is there something you're not telling me, Kat Halstead?
It's like, I thought I knew everything about you, Kat.
You're like, I have a secret love child. Come here and see it. All right.
So, yeah, it's a nice, easy movie to watch and still be able to, like, get stuff done around the house or just, like, veg out. You know what I mean? It's a little, it's definitely more than, like, a normal kids movie. I think it's smarter than that.
Yeah, and...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it really brings in the universal horror elements to it, too. So it's kind of like a retelling of the Wolfman, but with like a new twist to it, which I love. So I guess we should just get into it. Want to just get into this world?
Yes, okay. Okay, the basics of the Chipmunks. They are a famous musical act, but their lives are pretty down to earth. They live with their adopted father, Dave. They are actual chipmunks, but they're like little boy size. They go to school.
They're integrated in with the community, so they go to school. They're in like elementary school, maybe middle school. I can't quite tell how old they are.
They're in like the 5th grade is probably a good guess.
I'm just gonna judge by that, just by the size of the bullies that are in this episode.
They're all like, they all have their little personality quirks. Like I said earlier, Alvin's the Dennis the Menace. Simon's like the smart one. Theodore's the sweet one who likes food.
Yeah, he's a little chunkier than the other two.
Mm-hmm.
He although in this episode though, he's vegan, I think.
Yeah. It was really random.
Did Theodore invent veganism? Because this is like way before veganism became like chic. So
I don't know.
'Cause there's like a weird throwaway line where in the episode Dave is like handing them all their lunch and he's like, oh, like I took out the avocado out of your sandwich, which is kind of out of character for you, Theodore. And because Theodore's being bullied by, I don't know, like the school bully, and he just steals his lunch every day, and the bully doesn't like avocado.
So yeah.
So Theodore the Chipmunk invented like avocado being cool, so he was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Way ahead of his time.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird for like a 19 or a 2000 movie to be like, avocado, yeah.
And veganism.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, he's vegetarian. I don't think he's vegan. I think he's vegetarian.
Okay. Can we talk about Dave for a minute? Can we talk about Dave for a hot minute?
Yes, let's talk about Dave Seville.
I just want to point out that the animators, they made him like really like muscular and hot in this incarnation right here.
Yeah, Dave is really buff. His t-shirts are really tight.
Growing up, I don't recall Dave Seville. Like, I recall him being kind of like Dennis the Menace dad-like. He's just kind of like a Poindexter.
Okay.
Paper pusher.
So,
type.
like, Dave is their music manager. So he's got a little coolness, obviously.
Yeah.
With the music biz. In the original cartoon, he's done, like, Dave fits with the times, I think.
So, all right. So, like, whatever decade we're in, it's how Dave is.
Is kind of like, yeah. Like, in the 80s cartoon, he wore a lot of, like, sweaters with, like, a collared shirt under, like most TV dads.
So he kind of had that TV dad vibe.
And he was good looking. He was a good looking TV dad for a cartoon.
Yeah.
He wasn't, like, super dorky like most cartoon dads. You know, he wasn't like Doug Funny's dad or Stu Pickles.
That was the mindset that I had going into this. I was like, yeah, Dave's like the nerdy dad type. He kind of wants to be John Stamos, but he's not quite John Stamos. But in this one, he is full-blown John Stamos, because Dave came on the screen and I was like, ooh, I was blown away by the first shot of Dave Seville. I was like, whoa, when did Dave Seville become such a fucking stud muffin? I was like, when did this happen?
I know, I was like, whoa. Like, I was Like, he's really buff. I remember thinking that when I first rewatched this, and I was like, he's buff. And then I was like, his t-shirt's, like, tight. I'm like, damn, Dave. Why are you single?
Low key, I was hoping we would get a scene of him like stepping out of the shower and he like puts a towel around his waist, but it never happened. But I was like, I can see it happening though.
Yeah.
Like I was like, you know what? Maybe like it was like a female artist. It's just like, you know what? I just want like a fuckable Dave. Like let's just make a fuckable Dave.
Let's do it.
Like maybe this person grew up admiring Dave Seville and was just like, yeah, you know what? Like maybe we just had like a little bit bigger biceps, decent sized forearms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just wearing like a tight t-shirt from the Gap, like a white tee from the Gap. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make Dave cool again. And they fucking did.
Yes.
Low key, I was like hoping that Dave would like pair up with the 31-year-old female high school principal. I was like shipping them. I don't know about you, but I sure was.
Oh, there's a moment later on at the end.
I have another question about Dave Seville's life. Because Miss Beatrice Miller, the adoptive mother of the Chipettes, she's like an older lady, right? Is she like an elderly lady?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an older lady.
I was like thinking like, oh, like you know, be like cool instead of like maybe like Miss Miller who like goes to a nursing home and Miss Miller's like hot granddaughter takes over. And that becomes like Dave's new love thing. or you know what? Like maybe you know what? Like let's flip the script. Let's flip the script. How about Miss Miller's like young grandson comes into town and like Dave's like, whoa.
Okay.
Look at Miss Miller's young grandson and they become a couple. Yeah, so I don't know. Because we kind of, like, I don't ever remember Dave Seville having a love interest.
Yeah, I don't think Dave has ever really had a full-on love interest, except for, like, in the movies, with, like, Jason Lee playing.
Yeah, like in the live-action ones. Maybe Ross's son was, like, maybe he got all these letters over the air, and they're like, you know what, you need to give Dave a love interest, because, I don't know, when I saw him in that year 2000 direct-to-video film, he was so hot, he was so buff. I was like, I can't believe he's wasted it on his hand.
I think in the CGI cartoon, he's pretty buff too.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the new brave world of Buff Dave.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's great.
We start off with Alvin is having nightmares about being chased by the Wolfman because he is like obsessed with monsters, like monster movies. Anything he can get his hands on about monsters, this is like what he is living and breathing.
Yes, he's
watching like late night movies about monsters.
Yeah, there's like a fake Elvira type in this, Madame Rhea.
Yes, she's amazing. I love her.
She was great. She's great. She reminds me of she kind of has. Have you ever seen the Wolfman movie?
I don't think I've seen the actual Wolfman movie. I've seen Frankenstein, I've seen Dracula.
So there's kind of like a cautionary Madame Gypsy type in it that, you know, warns the main character in the movie about the curse of the Wolfman. And she kind of has that vibe to it, but they gave her an Elvira vibe too, which I thought was great. Like she's the host of of like a late night movie monster series.
Yeah, she's like the host of the late night movie. They find all those, like, old-school monster movies from back in the day.
Yeah, I believe
and she, like, hosts them.
I believe the movie they watch...
And then she, like, has, like, the 1-800 number to order, like, random monster crap.
Yeah, so, all right, she's, like, spewing her stuff. She's talking... they're watching it. They're watching The Wolfman Goes to College or something. That's, like, the movie that's on that night. The B movie. And... Yeah. At the end of it, her program, she gives a 1-800 number. You can order like a book about monsters and how to like spot a monster in your neighborhood. Because Alvin believes that his neighbor, the new neighbor, Mr. Talbot, is secretly a wolfman because he keeps waking up in the middle of the night and hearing like howling dogs.
Yeah.
And when Alvin confronts Mr. Talbot about it, Mr. Talbot's like, "I don't know no dog. What are you talking about?"
He's like, he's like, your kid is the one screaming his head off and waking me up.
Yeah. So we kind of got a couple of nights of this going on. Dave's had enough. He's like, you know what, Alvin, you can't, go around accusing our neighbors of being, wolfmen.
Monsters. And...
This is like that time. Like this is like that time that you thought like the lady down the street was the creature of the Black Lagoon or something stupid.
Yeah.
Or mummy. I believe they thought that neighbor was a mummy.
Just something really ridiculous.
Yeah. The old lady down the street had eczema, so Alvin thought she was a mummy.
Way to go, Alvin.
Dave tries to, like, de-monster Alvin's life, so he takes away, like, all his movie posters, all his toys.
Well, he does this after Alvin kind of creates an explosion in the school auditorium during rehearsal for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which Alvin is the star of.
Yes. All right, so Dr. Jekyll is, like, in the play supposed to mix two chemicals together, and for some reason they use actual combustible chemicals in this play.
So Alvin insists on using this, like, Madame Rhea Monster Lab set, and he just mixes two random chemicals, and Simon's all like, no!
Yeah, we get, like, a weird...
And Dave's at home doing the dishes, and he's like, that looks like it's from the school. Like, his window, like, looks right towards the school, and he's like, don't ring, don't ring, don't ring. And the phone rings. He's like, hi, it's been, 5 days? Oh, just yesterday we talked. Really? Time sure flies.
Yeah, Alvin, your fucking punk son, blew up the school. So David goes down there, and there's, like, green goo all over the place, like goopy goo, and they're all, like, laying in it. So David's upset. That's when he gets introduced to the principal. I can't remember her name. We're just going to call her Principal Victoria, because she kind of looks like a Victoria to me.
Yeah.
So
I honestly can't remember her name. Like, it's said, like, once, and that's it.
there's, like, a weird throwaway line where the principal just casually mentions that she's 31 years old, and Dave's like, wow, you look really old for 31.
No. Okay, so, like, she's like, Mr. Seville, I'm going to take early retirement. I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't be Alvin's principal anymore. I can't teach him anymore. I'm like, I'm done. He's like, you don't look a day over 50. And she's like, I'm 31. This is what having Alvin as a student has done to me.
Yeah, she's bitch's age. She's got, like, bags under her eyes because she don't sleep at night. And she's like, can't sleep.
She's just, like, waiting for, like, whatever Alvin's going to do next.
Can't sleep. Chipmunk will kill me. Can't sleep. Chipmunk will kill me. Could you imagine? You're, like, a high school, like, whatever, middle school principal, and they're like, hey, by the way, you're going to have 3 students that are fucking anthropomorphic chipmunks, and one of them is kind of a dick.
Oh, my God.
I'd probably age, like, 15 years just in that fucking moment. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You got to deal with Alvin. Theodore, meanwhile, is just, like, being bullied. And we get, like, a weird line here. David kind of witnesses the bullying happening, and he wants to interfere. And the principal's just like, oh, no, we don't interfere with bullies. We just let bullying happen here at this school.
Yeah, she's like, Theodore needs to talk to us. And it's like, really, bitch?
Yeah.
Really? No. You go and you knock this stuff out. Stop it.
Yeah, because Dave's like, aren't you going to get involved? And she's like, no. I only get involved if the students come to me.
Yeah, like, that actually really kind of pissed me off.
I guess this is, like, a pre-social media world, I think.
Yes.
That's where I think bullying really became a problem, because, you know, back in the day, if like, someone bothered you at school, they just bothered you at school.
Yeah.
But today, you know, in this, like, social media world, you come up from school, and it's like the school bully can, like, post shit about you on Facebook, and it, like, creeps into the real world.
That's true.
So I think I understand why it's kind of like we're in this anti-bully zone now, but I guess, like, at this time, I don't know, it wasn't a thing, but it was just, like, a weird thing to be in a kid's movie, though.
Yeah.
Dave's had enough. Dave's not here, man, for any of this stuff, and he shuts Alvin's monster life down. Alvin, though, is like any normal addiction. He kind of, like, hides stuff around his bedroom. He hides, like, a little...
Yeah, he's got, like, stuff in his shoes. He's got it hidden all over the place. And, Simon comes in and he's like, monster check! Because Simon's, like, done with this BS.
Yeah, because Alvin doesn't sleep at night anymore, because Alvin always wakes up in the night from these nightmares, or...
And it wakes everybody else up.
Simon comes in, he does these, like, room checks, and he, like, Alvin has to empty out his socks and stuff. But right before this, though, the mailman comes by, he delivers the book, the Madame Rhea, like, how to find monster books. And Alvin, like, hides it, like, behind a pillow. Simon overlooks it, and then Alvin is, like, reading all the signs and symptoms of someone being a monster. and he's kind of picking up on some of the tics that Mr. Talbot has. So
There are a lot of signs that Mr. Talbot is a Wolfman.
yes, so Alvin realizes that he can't do this alone. So in the middle of the night, he has to wake up Simon because Simon's the smartest.
Mm-hmm.
He can put things together, and so he begs Simon. He begs Simon for his help, and he's like, "Hey, all right, well, can we just do this one last mission? Just one thing right here. If Mr. Talbot doesn't turn out to be a Wolfman, that's it. We're done. I'll stop this whole act. I'll be done with monsters." And Simon's like, "For the sake of I want to sleep at night, sure, I'll help you. Sure, I'll do it." They're monks on a mission. We're monks on a mission. We get a hot dance number.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay, fine.
We get a hot dance of it's a hot song and dance number. We see Alvin and Simon
yes.
I don't know, they're hiding in the garbage bin, digging through Mr. Talbot's garbage. They're I don't know, you see the shots of them peeking through his window and all this weird shit's going on.
Yeah.
They can't find anything. At the end of the day, they find nothing. So Alvin feels defeated. He's like, all right, I guess he's not a monster. Because he's not a Wolfman. But hold on. Theodore is walking home from school or somewhere at night, and he gets bit by a dog, what he thinks is a dog.
So, Alvin lost his role in the play. They decided that Simon and Theodore were going to split the roles. So Simon is Dr. Jekyll, and sweet little Theodore needs to play Mr. Hyde because they're trying to build his confidence. And
yes,
and they're coming home from the play rehearsal, and Brittany's a freaking willow tree, which is the most random character for this play. But they're all coming home, and it's a foggy night, and they're just walking home, and there's something out there, something spooky. And it scares the crap out of the kid.
Yeah, so they all run home. They're running home, but Theodore gets bit by
a dog.
By a dog, or what they perceive as a dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. He mends his wounds. I don't know. They put some bacitracin on it. They dress the wound. All's good. But all of a sudden, Theodore wakes up in the middle of the night, and he turns into a Wolfman puppy. A cute little puppy.
Theodore is turning into he starts acting like a dog. Like a little puppy dog, chewing up stuff, and it's kind of cute, but it's a little weird.
Yeah, he pees on the rug on Alvin's side of the room.
And at this point, Alvin and Simon are like, oh my god, what is happening to our little brother?
I think at this point, Alvin and Simon realize that he is a Wolfman. He did get attacked by Wolfman. They're still not sure who the Wolfman is, but they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, now they got to try and figure out, how to save their brother.
This Wolfman persona, it carries over into Theodore's personal life as a human. He has all of a sudden, grown a lot of confidence. He changes hairstyle. He eats meat. He does great in the school play because originally the play director doubted using Theodore. They're like, why the fuck would we have to use Theodore? And the principal's like, I really want you to use Theodore because we want to build his confidence up. And he's like, no, he's gonna bomb. But they're doing a dress rehearsal of the play, and Theodore nails it out of the park. He hits home run.
During this, Theodore's confidence really grows and builds.
Eleanor is the acting opposite of Theodore, and she was legitimately scared. But then when the director yells cut, Theodore snaps out of the character, and he's kind of back to his normal self. But Eleanor's like, wow, you convinced me so much. I was shaking in my boots over here.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was wild. So they have a new star. But Alvin and Simon are worried. They're still worried because, they know something's afoot. They're afraid to tell Dave. They're afraid to tell Dave what's going on.
What are you going to say? Hey, Dave, Theodore's acting like a puppy. We think he might be a wolf.
So they don't...
Chipmunk werewolf type hybrid. Come on.
They kind of want to investigate this on their own. They want to try to figure out how they can reverse this curse. So they seek out Madame Rhea. They find her, and Madame Rhea is like, oh, the only way to, stop the curse is you have to, shoot him with a silver bullet. And they're like, whoa, we can't kill our brother. But they're like, well, he's not, full on, Wolfman yet. And Madame Rhea's like, oh, well, when did this happen? And they're like, oh, it happened yesterday. He got bit. And she's like, well, I think you have until like the next full moon, which is like what, like the next. It was like the next day or something.
Yeah.
You have till the next full moon.
If he doesn't, like, if you can't reverse before, like, as soon as that full moon hits, he's like full on werewolf.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from that.
So they're like, maybe you can beat him with some silver. So Alvin's like, oh, Mr. Talbot has a silver cane. We can beat him with that, which is just like great.
Yeah.
They go to like sneak into Mr. Talbot's house. They steal the cane and they try to start beating Theodore with it, but the cane breaks, so they can't finish the job.
Like, Alvin is really like, I can't do this. I can't do this. That he like, he like goes to smack Theodore over that. He's like, I can't do it. I can't do this to my brother. And then he's like, but I have to, because then like Theodore will do something like puppy wolf-like, and Alvin will start, and he's like, no, I can't do it. And then he finally like just does it, and he just like kind of bonks Theodore on the head. He doesn't like, barely even hurts him. And Theodore's like, what are you doing? He just breaks the cane in half. And then Alvin trips over Dave, who's out there like pulling weeds and getting down and dirty in the gardening. And I'm just like, damn, Dave is a hot dad.
You're like, oh, Dave, you're all sweaty right now from pulling all those weeds. Why don't you take off your shirt so we can see your abs, Dave? We can see your cartoon abs. This is such a conflicted movie. I was like, whoa, like, why am I so attracted to Dave? Like,
why are we both so attracted to Dave?
I don't know.
Is Dave Seville Dream Man?
Yeah, is Dave Seville the new Dream Man? That is the hot question. I want like a Dave Seville, like this era Dave Seville like spin-off series. It's like Dave in his normal life, like no Chipmunks. It's just like Dave, you know, the Chipmunks, they're, I don't know, maybe they're at the youth center that night with the Chipettes. Dave has like, he has a night to himself and he goes out and he's like, I'm just going to get together with the guys. And I don't know, he goes to like mud wrestles with his guy friends. I don't know what he does. I don't know what Dave does in his spare time, but some excuse for Dave to take his shirt off.
Oh my god.
I want that right now. Let's fanfic it.
Okay.
Dave.
Dave thinks that Alvin is being ridiculous. He's like, Mr. Talbot is not a werewolf. Knock it off, Alvin. He's like, not here for this. He's like, I'm gonna go, you guys have to go to the play. I'll go apologize to Mr. Talbot about you guys breaking his cane. I'll deal with it. Because it's a whole mess at this point, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a hot mess.
Dave goes over, and Talbot is pissed because it's like a family heirloom. The wolf head on the cane was made from the silver bullets shot at his grandfather by villagers.
Yeah, I want to throw something out there. So Talbot is the last name of the character in the Wolfman series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like in the the Universal Monster movie, The Wolfman. So I thought that was a really cool throwback. So
okay.
Kudos? Question mark?
Perhaps.
Yeah. So hold on. So before Dave goes over to Mr. Talbot's, I just want to like talk about like Simon is kind of doing his own like personal investigation. He's like they get like a speck of blood or something from Mr. Talbot from he like cuts himself on a thorn.
Yeah.
So they have like a drop of blood. So he's like magnifying it he's looking at it under his microscope, and he like takes Theodore's like saliva and Mr. Talbot's blood, and he like mixes it together, and he sees that they like cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So he's like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Plot point later on, by the way. Plot point. Spoiler alert.
You know, Dave goes to talk to Talbot, and like shit starts to get real. Like Talbot starts to change and starts growling, and Dave's like, the hell? And like that's when Dave realizes that Talbot is a werewolf. And Talbot runs off to the school where everybody's like trying to get this play off the ground for the night, because it's like opening night of the play.
Yeah, it's opening night of many nights at Chipmunk Middle School, wherever I don't know where they live.
I don't remember what the school was called.
So we kind of get like a final showdown. It's like Theodore versus the Wolfman, I think.
Yes.
Theodore ends up biting Mr. Talbot as the Wolfman.
Yes.
And it ends up canceling each other out, and all of a sudden they're both human again.
Mm-hmm.
And Simon comes out and he explains it, and he's like, "Oh, it confirms my suspicions. I always felt that when I studied Mr. Talbot's blood and Theodore's like spit, I mixed them together, and I saw that they turned back into human cells or human chipmunk cells or whatever. So, oh yeah, I knew that was gonna work. I don't know. It was like really, it was so anticlimactic.
It was just so weird because, like, there's all this, like, everything's going wrong on stage and backstage because there's a werewolf chasing another werewolf, and, you know, Theodore's not showing up for his lines, and Alvin's trying to cover, and it's just chaos. But the audience loves it.
Yeah, the audience thinks it's part of the show. They don't realize that this is, like, real.
Yeah.
It's very, it's like those movies, those old movies, those old, like, 1950s movies where, you know, you go to the movie, like, see a monster movie, and there'd be, like, someone dressed as a monster would run through the audience. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. And just super cheesy, super weird, super anticlimactic. Mr. Talbot's no longer Wolfman. Theodore is no longer Wolfman. And then Principal Victoria retires. Like, she's like, all right, this is my last day. Mr. Talbot's the new principal as of right now. Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yes, and then they, like, all start to sing and dance, and Dave dances with Principal Victoria.
Yep. Dave rips his shirt
and,
off.
like, he spins her around, and he pulls her close, and it's, like, kind of sexy, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell is happening here?
You're like, Principal Victoria, get away from Dave. He's mine. He's all mine. Ugh, you're like, get away from him. And it's over. The Chipmunks met the Wolfman.
Yeah.
It was wild times. Wild times were had.
It was a fun little movie.
Yeah, and that is our final incarnation of that era of the Chipmunks, because that was it. They were done. We didn't see them again for like 7 years until the CGI Jason Lee movie came out.
Yes.
So, all in all, I think it was a good grand finale. I would have loved to got like a little more closure on Dave Seville. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to see Dave Seville get out of the shower when we were in a towel, and the towel slips, and like maybe see some like butt crack for a second.
Oh, if only.
Maybe like someone like we'll go to like deviantart.com. Maybe there's some like X-rated Dave Seville pictures.
Oh my god, that's scary. That's a little scary because I'm sure that shit's out there.
Hold on.
So
Googling it right now.
Oh my god, I'm terrified.
I don't see anything quite yet, so you know what? Maybe no one has found that world quite yet.
Maybe not.
All right. On a scale out of 1 out of 5 Hut Daves, how many Hut Daves would you give this Alvin the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman?
3.5.
3.5? Okay. Super picky. I'm gonna give it a Hut 4. I'm gonna give it 4 Hut Daves. I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I went into this with very low expectations. I enjoyed it. It loses a point for the ending. I thought the ending could have been a little bit stronger. I felt like they rushed it. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was a different ending plan, but it didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to. Maybe the test audience hated it, so they had to go back and redo it. I don't know, but
yeah, the ending kind of like it's like it just like Theodore bites him and they're okay. Like what?
Yeah, well, like I don't know. It just kind of seemed like it should have been a little bit longer, but maybe they showed the ending to like I don't know, like 8-year-olds. In America, and they were frightened by the end, and the parents were upset because the kids couldn't sleep at night. Maybe they actually shot and killed Theodore.
I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. When the nephews watched Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein, it was a long one for like a 3, 2-year-old, you know? You know, they probably and like really for like younger kids, Theodore biting the Wolfman probably is an okay ending.
I don't know. A little part of me thinks like maybe there was like a darker ending. Like they actually like shot Theodore. They put him out of his misery.
Oh my god.
Little Joey in 1999, 2000 era, taking over for the 2000s. He was just traumatized by the ending. Or who knows? Maybe there was like a hotter Dave Seville ending. Maybe kids were traumatized by that. They were confused. They're like, "What is going on? I'm so turned on by this hotness of Dave Seville."
I don't think that's how it happened, Patrick. I really don't. I think you're off the wall again.
Or maybe the moms were like all like hot and bothered by it, and they're like, "Oh," and they're like, oh, we can't have this.
Something had to get the moms hot and bothered before 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, Alvin the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman, the original 50 Shades of Grey. There's this whole like subculture out there of just, women in their 30s that are just turned on by Dave Seville from this movie.
Dude, you don't. There probably is. You don't understand.
There's like a small but loyal Tumblr hashtag for this right now that we haven't found yet because it's overshadowed by the Wincest brothers.
I don't want to find it. That just sounds terrifying.
I mean, I've seen the Winchester Bros. I know that universe. I can only imagine what they would do to Dave Seville.
Oh my god, for real.
Yeah, I can just see Dave Seville wearing a cowboy hat, strumming his guitar, and he's wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Oh my goodness.
So that, want to close the book on Alvin the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're done.
All right. Insert sound effect of a book closing and going back onto the stacks. I have a hot thing to tell you. I have something hot to tell you.
Oh god, what?
We don't have an episode planned for next week yet.
Oh my god. I know. We need to, figure this out.
So next week we do not know what we're doing. So you guys are going into this blind.
We have no clue.
Yeah, so
we have no clue what's happening going forward.
So I can expect to get 100 tweets of people telling us what to do, and we'll have already recorded it. So we're just gonna laugh and LOL at you in our DM group behind your backs. So we can't wait.
It's just it's basically me and Patrick, and then half the time we share with Steven.
Sometimes we share with Steven, and sometimes our gal pal Heather joins in on our.
Yeah.
So if you want to join our group chat, just send us both a DM on Twitter, and we'll group chat with you. Looking forward to it. So where can you follow our adventures, Kat Alston, the author? Where can you follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. Do not accept invitations. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Google, almost any podcast player just by searching A Very Special Podcast. If your friend is the one playing this and you want to find us yourselves, we're not that difficult to find. Just remember, it's Pat and Kat. It's not a group of greasy old men.
And as always, Carol,
bye!
Watch the skies for Dave Seville's shirt flying off him.
Oh my god.